All right, y'all. Good morning, afternoon, or evening, whenever you're tuning in. I'm grateful to have you here. And we got us a doozy today, or at least I hope so, because not only is this video going viral on More Perfect Union's YouTube channel, I'll link the video down below in the description. Go show them some love. But even better, we get to see what really goes down at a Trump rally between liberals and conservatives. So I don't know what to expect, honestly, but I'm always ready to have these conversations, and I'll pause and give my thoughts throughout the video whenever I feel it's needed. So be prepared for that. Let's get it popping.
Extreme socialism, obviously we'll all agree, communism doesn't work.
Yeah.
But extreme capitalism, as we're seeing right now,
does not
with
work.
this corporate capitalism, also has its problems.
Wait, extreme capitalism? What? Nah, we don't got that going on. I don't even think most people know what true free market capitalist societies even look like, because we haven't had one here in the United States in a long time. And what we got going on now is crony capitalism and fascism and a level of greed and corruption at the highest level. Joe Biden, that family, that's what's destroying America. Politicians that put their needs above the needs of the people that are supposed to be serving and fighting for the people. They put their selfish ambitions above everybody else. That's what's really going on. We don't got extreme capitalism, my man. I'm sorry.
How much money is too much money for one person?
It's a tough call. I know. When they have these billions, you're like, well, they really don't need it. Yeah, we agree with that.
Why Trump instead of Bernie Sanders?
What I look at is more progressives like the Bernie Sanders faction, stuff like that. We actually see a lot of the same problems.
And I would vote for a Bernie Sanders before I'd vote for like a Ted Cruz or a Marco Rubio.
What would it have taken for you guys to not go into the rally and to instead get ice cream with me, a flaming leftist?
Well, first of all, you have to buy.
All right, I'm buying.
So we got a flaming leftist taking on a Trump rally. Oh, this is going to be interesting.
We are polarized. There is no doubt about it.
Love the mullet.
But I came to this Trump rally on a hunch. I've poured drinks at a Rust Belt dive bar for the last year, and when your county votes for Trump and the bartender looks like I do, people kind of assume that you're on the same page. But sometimes you actually are. So here's my hunch. For all the focus on culture war issues, the working class on the left and the right have a lot more in common than we're led to believe. And if that's true, it could and should have huge implications for the upcoming presidential election. So I went to Erie, Pennsylvania to find out. Are we rolling? Okay. We're here at the Trump rally today. Why did you come out today?
To support my 45th president.
Okay.
He didn't lose. He called out the Washington establishment, and I absolutely loved it. You know, he's definitely not a Republican because Mitch McConnell and them would be backing him, and DeSantis would be running against him. Yeah. He's obviously not a Democrat no more, so we're more of a politically homeless faction that loves America and will make all the changes that we can to make it great. Prices are just higher. Like, you go to the grocery store, I buy the same thing every time I go to the grocery store. I spend $102 at Aldi's. I was just telling my uncle this.
Yeah.
I'm spending over $200 now.
Yeah.
So things are more expensive.
Double.
I think people are more scared.
Our money doesn't have no value, and that's why we're having problems. This whole inflation thing, it's been building and building for multi-decades, and it's getting close now.
You work at McDonald's, right?
I do.
Do you feel like you're getting everything out of work that you're putting into it?
I believe I should get paid more. All I am doing is I'm working my ass off to get my money. I'm a hard worker, and I feel like I deserve more.
I work down in West Virginia.
Yes.
Yep, on the rigs for evil Big Red, Halliburton.
Yeah. Oh, my God.
Halliburton, we were 2 weeks on, 1 week off, so you never got to go home. We were the lowest paid of all the workers out there. I only made $13.50 when I got hired on.
For Halliburton?
For Halliburton, yep. Probably wouldn't even have an Iraq war if it wouldn't have been for the Halliburton and Cheney and stuff. We were expendable, that's all it was. Halliburton, Big Red, they called it. You're just part of the machine, and the machine can be replaced.
As expendable as, people who went over to fight a rich person's war in Iraq.
Yep, pretty much.
5 years ago, I came to the realization that I've been hoodwinked. I have zero respect for Dick Cheney. I have zero respect for George Bush.
What did it for you there, and why did you end up going towards Trump?
It was a lie.
And this
they lied about the Iraq war. There was no reason for us to go into war in Iraq other than the military-industrial complex
It's just a conspiracy
wanted
theory
a war.
The global corporations, do they have you know, the Goldilocks question: too much, just enough, or too little power? Where would you place it?
I feel like their only thought is more money,
right?
More power. That's all they. That's all you care. Whoever has the most money.
Obviously, it's too much.
Yep.
When you have a company like BlackRock that's worth $9 trillion,
And Vanguard's what?
Vanguard's $8 trillion. Obviously, I'm not going to argue. There's a problem with that.
So you think the finance sector?
Yeah.
Does it have too much power, just the right amount of power, not enough power?
Way too much power.
The financial sector.
100%. Yes. These people really, a lot of these people they don't realize are unelected officials. So all these politicians have this plan for how they're going to fix the economy, but then they just get in there, they don't do anything, and they're funded by the people, and those people are not elected, and they control the people that are elected.
What road
Don't make no sense.
You know, the consolidation of these larger corporations. You know, I came from an agricultural background, and now it'll be 3 or 4 companies that control the entire market for chicken, for eggs, for beef.
That shouldn't happen.
Yeah. The working class has gotten beaten up because of the loss of small businesses. And my question would be, well, I would say, well, why aren't they here anymore?
As a small business owner, I feel like we aren't represented that much in America.
Do you see a problem with that kind of operation?
Oh, 100%.
When it's concentrated.
Because the big guys are beating out the small guys, or even the family-owned businesses, you know, easily.
A lot of that's driven by these really large corporations that are, you know, just by their size, pushing the little guy out.
Yes.
How big of a problem do you think that is?
That's an ultimate problem. That reminds you of watching them westerns, movies, when they would go to some small town and the one guy owns the bar, he owns the tack place, he owns that. Yes. There's so many houses for sale in our neighborhood. I was going to go to town and say, are these all, you know, can we find out, are these just real people buying them? Or is this like proxies? See, BlackRock proxies, Vanguard proxies. Are they buying all these homes so people can't own them and they're just going to rent them?
Would you be excited if Trump did anything to rein in?
Well, of course. It's just...
It's a monopoly that needs to be broken up.
There
Just
it
like,
is.
remember the telephone company in the 80s, AT&T?
Right.
That was broken up.
Yeah.
And that's what needs to be done.
Capitalism's not the problem. It's been corrupted to such a level, just like people think all the politicians are corrupted. But it's corrupted at the highest levels of these corporations, like you said, being owned. Instead of 200 of them, you're down to 4. Yeah. That's massive control.
You think somebody like Trump with the billions in the business, I mean, we're talking about really large monopolies here. Mm-hmm. He's more in their pyramid.
Yeah, I agree. You're right, right.
He has a financial interest to do that kind of policy.
I always even consider Trump even like a crony capitalist. He's not perfect, you know what I mean? He was a capitalist guy, you know, and you know, everybody always read where he would eminent domain against take the lady, kick her out of her house for all that stuff. Yeah, that's falls into that. Like I said, I don't know, you know. I come to a Trump rally. Doesn't mean I think he's the greatest guy.
Can you really trust a billionaire? Help me understand why that's a thing for you.
Yeah, so with billionaires, I would say honestly, no, you can't.
Yeah.
I'll say with Trump, when he debated Hillary Clinton in 2016, she said all these things about the tax laws, all this, and Trump said, where have you been for 30 years? You know, you haven't done anything about it. And then he said, I know you're not going to do it because all your donors who fund your campaign benefit from the same tax breaks and tax laws I do.
Right.
So whether it's left or right, these people, they're not really going to change the tax laws from the donors that are funding their campaign.
The power is so strong that these people have built up that, yeah, and I don't have answers, and because I know that's what you want. You know, you want to hear what can we do. I just don't think politics is going to do it.
Nope.
Just getting in like Civil War thing is just who wants to do that kind of stuff? You know what I mean?
I'm kind of in the same place. I don't have the answers. Will politics do it? If politics doesn't do it, what else will? I look out at a couple 100,000 workers at UPS recently.
Yes. Did they vote on it yet?
So they haven't voted on it yet.
I heard about that.
It was negotiated, and there was, you know, threat of the strike. They were really organized. They won $30 billion over the term of that contract. you know, by being organized. So I look at something like that and say, if this is about control and about working class people having a seat at the table at a company as big as UPS, we just saw their unity win $30 billion worth of, you know, cash in the pocket. Does that sit well with folks?
Nonviolent direct action does work. You know, we've been hearing all about the boycotts. You just mentioned 100,000 people. That's a lot of people. You don't want to mess with that.
This contract was $30 billion. That was from workers standing together. Didn't have anything to do with government. Is that something you guys support?
Sure.
Yes.
Of course.
Yeah. Of course.
Of course. Absolutely. Yeah.
So if my coworkers wanted to make more, and since I want to make more, I'll probably organize something that could help make us more, like maybe a petition.
Yeah, right. Or union activity.
Yes.
A lot of that. Yeah. And would you be really excited by Trump coming out and supporting workers who are doing that?
Yes.
Seeing Trump on a picket line?
Yes.
Yeah. Hot button issues. You can't get away from them. You never hear about UPS.
Not today. No, honestly, I didn't know about it until you told me.
Why do you think that is?
Well, they just made a big move doing that too.
Because who's running the show? Listen, we lost our republic decades ago. We're living in an oligarchy. So they're the ones calling the shots because that's where the money's come from. The media, everybody.
You'll see things like the board or whatever they put on, you know, the TV. You'll have
Or trying to divide people.
Yes.
A lot of the stories are trying to divide
exactly
people.
divide, keep them off the ball.
We're not supposed to be doing this.
Yeah, like it's weird that it's that.
They want. I feel like
weird
this is all for
talking.
distraction, to be honest.
Smoke and mirrors.
Yeah,
They want us to argue.
It is. That's
Yeah,
exactly.
I mean,
They want us to
this
argue.
facade of
Yes.
or there's two sides when in reality there hasn't been two sides since the 1980s.
These are just the conversations that we had at one Trump rally, but you saw it. It did not take long to find people who agree that politicians should reject the money from billionaires, should break up massive corporate monopolies, end forever wars, and join workers on the picket line. And you would never know that if you just watched Fox or CNN. So let's try a thought experiment. What would it look like if for this one presidential election, we had conversations like these that focused on the working class, what they demand, what they need, what they deserve? What would the debates be about? What would the candidates' platforms be like? Who would ultimately win, and how would they be forced to deliver?
Well, I'll be dogged. Who knew we could actually all get along and find common ground on some things? This is probably one of the best all-around civil discussions between liberals and conservatives that I've ever seen. I mean, that was gooder than chicken right there. This guy, I think John Russell was his name. He did an outstanding job. And shout out to More Perfect Union, the channel over on YouTube as well, for putting this video together and going out there and doing what a lot of people aren't willing to do in this day and age. They're not willing to sit down, have discussions about how we can all really unite and really improve and thrive as a country. Remember, this America, United States of America, is supposed to be about we, the people. But nowadays, we got the media, the politicians, these forces that be, these powers that be, all about greed, all about smoke and mirrors and pinning us against each other, dividing and conquering, talking about and making up issues along the way to try to deter our attention from what they really got going on behind closed doors, the monopolies and acquiring all these riches and the wealth and just completely dominating the world as however they best see fit, and not really looking out for the smaller fish in the sea, not really looking out for the everyday man and woman out there working hard at McDonald's or in factories or doing whatever they got to do, really providing value to our economy, to the world that we see and take for granted every single day, the conveniences and luxuries that we're afforded in America. Men and women have to go out and provide those services and those goods and those products. But these government officials and these major corporations, they acquire all this money for what though? Like, what are they actually doing other than hoarding it all to themselves? It makes you think. And these are the types of conversations that we need to have. We may disagree on a lot of things, but these are supposed to be how disagreements are handled. And there's no need to bash and hurl insults at each other. Instead, let's have common sense, actual civil discourse, not interrupting and just listening, using those God-given 2 ears, 1 mouth for a reason. And then we can proceed to mend fences and come up with solutions and go from there. That's how we really get our country united and back on track. What it all really comes down to is we can still love our neighbor as ourselves without affirming their sin and rebellion to God's design and natural human order. I know not all liberals believe in God. A lot of them get down with different things. A lot of conservatives don't believe in God and get down with different things. But it all starts with speaking the truth in love and doing so in a compassionate way, because we all have seen and experienced different upbringings and situations in life. And personally, the determining factor for me as far as who I vote for, who gets my ballot at the end of the day, comes down to, are they pro-life or are they pro-murder of innocent children? Are they pro-freedom, not taxing the dollar to no end and taking everything we got just because they feel that they're entitled this role and they're holier than thou and above everybody because they have a government official position and this name tag? I'm about people that stand for the people. I'm about real leaders like what we had in the beginning with our first president, General George Washington, who would go out there committed to patriotism and really unite people and strengthen our nation by going out there and be willing to sacrifice their life and lay it on the line. But these old people that we got in the office, they're not willing to sacrifice anything. They can't even tell the truth, let alone put their life on the line to serve another person. Their only interest and ambition is to serve self. That's their whole religion. That's their whole premise. Their religion is selfish ambition, is self-idolatry, instead of looking to God, instead of aligning their moral compass with righteousness like our founding fathers established this country on. People got everything twisted these days. And to keep the focus on these politicians and these massive corporations, they need to prioritize. They need to remember that they only have their position because the people. And if you're not elected, you should have no authority, no dictation on how things operate and play out on a day-to-day basis. You should have no control whatsoever on decisions that impact the lives of everyday American citizens. That's just my point of view. And I would love to see how one of these Trump rallies or any Biden rallies, there's not going to be many people there. There might be 1, 2, and they're family members of the Biden. So you already know they're greedy and corrupted, but I digress. A Trump rally in like a Chicago. I live in Illinois, a couple hours south of Chicago, so it's nothing like the extreme liberalism that we see up there, or in California, or a Trump rally just in all different states. I would love to see conversations like this between everyday liberals who are actually out there working a 9 to 5 or overtime, third shift, and see how can we find common ground? What do we already have agreement on? And how do we find solutions for all these basic needs that we all have? But I kind of want to take a turn and shift this from these big Black Rocks and Vanguards and multi-trillion-dollar businesses to the deeper issues that our country actually has. Where do they stem from? And I personally think that America's problems and solutions, they're spiritual, not political. No figurehead in the White House can fix the chaos that we see going on a daily basis in our streets, on the media, all over the place in the United States. And it's going to take a whole lot of people dropping to their knees in complete repentance and shifting their selfish ambitions here on earth to obeying Jesus's commands and storing up treasures in heaven instead of thinking just self and what can I acquire while I'm here? Because all that stuff is passing by the wayside. You can't take any of it with you. Can't strap a U-Haul to a hearse. Can't change what happened 5 minutes ago, 5 years, 50 decades ago. You can't change any of that stuff. All you can do right now is prioritize and align your thinking with righteousness. Because if you're not doing that, then you're doing it all wrong. And you may disagree. You may be an agnostic, an atheist, whatever, but there's only one truth. There's only one way to heaven, and that's through Jesus Christ. And when it comes to politics, the more I've seen and learned, the more I realize that the higher up it goes, there's a uniparty that's been formed. That means there's no right wing, there's no left wing. In many cases, it seems like these government officials, they have the same agendas and they want to get rich by any means necessary, no matter who it cuts off and pushes down to the bottom of the totem pole. They do whatever pervasive acts that they want to, thinking that there's no consequences. Just look at Joe Biden and his family, the Obamas, the Clintons. I've even heard things about the Bushes, and I don't know if that's true or not, but what's done in the dark always comes to light. And when it comes to Big 45, aka Donald Trump, I have to talk about him because we're referring to a Trump rally. I honestly don't think he's part of the uniparty. I don't think he's anything like these people. And they wouldn't be trying to smear his name and drag him through the mud and bring all these petty charges against him and make them up as they go, it seems like, and completely disregard what's actually been proven on the Biden side. If Trump was one of these evil politicians, one, he wouldn't have got elected in 2016 because he was an outsider, a businessman that everybody loved, black, white, Puerto Rican, Asian, everybody rocked with Donald Trump. But once he got in office, once he started to unveil and peel back the layers and the dirty deeds, aka drain the swamp, as he would always say, that's when people were like, oh, no. He's a major player. He's not here to fit and mold with the agenda that we're used to, the dirty deeds that we got going on. He's different. And although he's not perfect, neither am I, neither are you. Really, when it comes down to it, I do believe his motives are pure and that he has the best interest of the American people in every single move that he makes, in the policies, decisions made as president. I think that he aligns with we the people more than any other candidate that I've ever seen. So although he's not the solution, God is. At the end of the day, through whether it's him in office or not, God is the only real one in charge, the only king on the throne, and he don't care about getting it right in the White House. His only concern is that we get right with his house and pursue righteousness through the one and only Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. John 14, verse 6 says, Jesus said, I am the way and the truth and the life. No one comes to the Father except through me. And then Psalm 118, verse 8 says, it is better to trust in the Lord than to put confidence in man. So where are you putting your trust? Where are you putting your faith? What are you looking to each day as the solution? Are you looking at Trump? Are you looking at the media? Are you looking at your influencers on social media, including myself? I don't got the answers. I'm a flawed human being, but God is perfect. His judgments are always perfect. He's the same yesterday, today, and forever, and he'll never let you down. So when you look to him, when you put your confidence in him, instead of putting your confidence in things of this world, it's all going to work out. I would love to hear what y'all got to say, whatever angle you want to take. If you want to talk politics, if you want to talk faith, whatever it may be, let me know down in the comment section. Let's keep this conversation rolling. Don't forget to like this video by smashing the thumbs up button down below. Subscribe if you're not already. Ring the notification bell so you get notified anytime I post a video, just in case YouTube forgets to let you know. I appreciate you. I love y'all for doing so. If you want to take it a step further, you like what we're doing over here, you want to show a little extra love and support, by no means do you have to, but you can get awesome designs like this Godfidence, knowing I can't, but he can. These designs are made over my wife's Etsy store by her, customized in-house, all of that. Insulated tumblers, petite, teat, small sizes to big, and hefty for the 5X folks out there. All different sizes and colors. Like I said, we don't discriminate. We appreciate y'all. It goes a very long way in allowing me to continue to do what I do. All my other links are down below in the description section. Shout out to the Patreon, Buy Me a Coffee fam. Anybody who's ever joined the Gibson family on YouTube by hitting that little join button and becoming a member. I'm so grateful for y'all. I can't thank you enough and put into words and context just how appreciative I am for you guys showing up every single video and allowing my freckle face to rant at you. I just love y'all so much, and I'm going to go ahead and wrap this thing up. I'll be praying for you. Until next time, Godspeed. I'm gone.